Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Focus podcast. I am your host, Singinlisa. So glad to have you back with us. And of course, this is the place where we inspire, empower, motivate, and impact. And you know, we've been presenting the Reminiscent series brought to you through the Akula Foundation. And we're so excited to bring another wonderful person doing great things in the community your way. And she is none other than Kenosha Sampson. And so I'm excited for you to get to meet her and to learn about her journey. So Kenosha, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you, Miss Lisa. It's a pleasure.
It is absolutely a pleasure to have you here. And of course, we want to learn about your journey and how everything began for you and what brought you the way of nursing.
I was a candy striper at the age of 13, and basically I started the passion from there.
Okay.
I used to take care of the elderly in the nursing home, as well as doing nursing outside of my home, honestly. So that's what brought me the passion of being a nurse.
Yeah. Well, that is a great way to start. I think volunteerism is it's something that's not spoken of a lot, but I think it's an opening for a lot of great careers that people end up being very good in, because you find out if that's really your interest. And so, of course, now here we are with 2021. We did make it over 2021, but a lot of the same 2020 activity is still going on in many people's opinions, except that we've made it to the point of vaccine. So do want to get your part in all of this, because if we've learned nothing else in 2020, we learned the value of the nurse. We know that you have risen to the ranks of number one. You are gold, because I don't know if anybody knows how they could have made it without a nurse in this past year, and especially up to now. So, tell us a little bit about, how you got introduced to COVID, because now you also are a part of the Canon Hospice family. So that's a different angle, because you're not just a traditional nurse, but you have extra care that you provide.
Yes, ma'am. What the hospice part of it is that we take care of the patients during the end of life. Yes, we do have COVID patients, but within the COVID patients, we are there for the families also. So most of they know the diagnosis already. The part of the problem that comes into place is the care. So when we go into the homes of the patients, we provide the care, the education, and the compassion just to listen. Now with hospice, they get the palliative care, which will be the doctors also care, whether they can provide it inside of their home or a nursing home. So that is just the basic part of it. But when it comes down to the nursing care of the patient, we actually sit down, we educate, we show them how to really take care of them emotionally and physically. Because when you go into the patient home, you more than just a nurse.
Yes.
You are basically their family, and you become part of the family because you feel like family, because they depend on your education as well as the trust that they give you.
Yeah.
So that's special when it comes down to a hospice. Part of it is. And the special thing about a hospice nurse is you have more one-on-one care than what you will be expecting in the facilities. Because with the facilities, they're basically dealing with 1 to 10 patients. But when you're in the home, it's one-on-one care.
Yeah.
So when you do that one-on-one care, it makes the family feel more special. And that's the goal that you need from a hospice nurse. And the time, because not all the time you're going to be able to understand.
Right.
So with that person giving you that one-on-one care and able to sit and discuss anything that you possibly can, then that's fine. I know when I go into the home, if I don't know something, we're going to learn it together. And that makes it special.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
I love that. You said everything, made it so personable, and really helps people to understand that this is a special situation, because we're speaking of so many dynamics. We're talking about end of life. We're talking about families having to come to grips with things that they can't control, and family and the actual loved one who you're caring for having to also have acceptance and go through so many emotions, I'm sure, that involves where they are at that particular time. So you make a huge difference when you go in and provide that one-on-one care. And I just love that you said that, because that makes a family and a person feel like you care and that you're concerned about their particular situation. And so it's not anyone else at that time. It's all about them. And so I think that is so, so special. Did you start out from the candy striper to, did you eventually go exactly into hospice care nursing, or
No,
were you in traditional?
I did traditional nursing.
Okay.
But hospice was my passion. And
Okay.
the reason being is I have been in the places of these loved ones, not once, but more than one time in my own personal life. And basically, I wish I would have had the care that is provided now.
Yeah.
But with me, it's not about the pay. It's not about what my status is or anything like that. It's about a ministry. And if you feel as though it's a ministry, then everything else is going to move on the side. And you get down and personal. Because I have told some of my patients my personal experience. And when they know that you're just not a nurse and you've been through it yourself, and you feel what they have felt, or they feeling at this point, then it makes it even plus. Yeah. You know? And you got to care what you're doing. Absolutely. And that's just it. If you don't, then hey.
You're in the wrong profession.
Exactly.
Well, since you mentioned that you did have a personal experience, I'm not sure, would you mind sharing so that it ties in a little bit more about how you are?
I was a widow at 30.
Okay.
Basically, I've been through a whole lot in my lifetime experience. And not to get into detail, that's what made me the hospice nurse I am now. Just to be honest with you, my walks of life has not been easy. It's been hard. It's been challenging. I had my Cannon family, I'm not going to lie to you, that honestly pat me on the back and say, Kenosha, just keep going. And those are the people that I really admire. And I wouldn't trade them for the world, honestly. But as far as anything else, I mean, hospice is just where I would like to be. You get to know the person themselves. If you go into traditional, it's just like you see them for the 3 to 5 days and they gone. Yes. But when you go into hospice, you with them for the duration. And you kind of like, wow, I wish I would have known that person beforehand, you know. And the family is more in tune to what you're doing. And they're more grateful. Yeah. Tradition, they see you and they go, but when it comes down to hospice, it's a different kind of care, and it's a different kind of, how can I say it? Compassion to friendship. That's what I would call it. Yeah. Because I'll see somebody in Walmart, forgot their name. Yeah. And then they'll say, Kenosha, you remember me? And then you start talking on. And then from that, you figure out who it was. Right. And oh, yeah.
It comes back to you.
Yeah, but that's what makes it more rewarding than just to say, look, I'm going to go here and I'm going to work here and I'm going to get my paycheck and go home. Yeah. When you see the smiles or somebody cry on your shoulder or they entrust you so much, whereas though your word is just their bond, then guess what? You have done your job. Yes. And that's the mission of a hospice nurse.
Wow. And you really are carrying a lot of responsibility when it comes to that very special, tender place that a family is experiencing together. And then everybody is being touched in a different way. And what I hear you saying is, you know, from the traditional position to being one of care and really up close and personal, it's a slower pace.
Exactly.
And so you have time, because that's really what is important at that time, at that moment, the time that, and how you use it and how you really craft it and how you shape those moments that are going to matter and that are going to be a part of the memory for the family members that have to go on, and for the person that has to accept where they are and deal with it, and come to, some understanding and some decisions. And so that's so valuable, what you said. And we can treasure people that we meet. We may see them again, but these people, you almost have to learn about their entire life.
Exactly.
In a short amount of time, and really embrace all that they've accomplished, all they've done, and add value to even the moments where they are right at that time. So I think that is so precious. Well, what was different for you going through COVID with them, as opposed to when it was just the caring time that you would provide?
Well, COVID was on a different level because everything was so rapid. When I was getting some of the COVID patients, they were pretty much almost 2 to 3 days. So you had to establish a relationship fast. You had to get the trust of the caregiver real fast. And things moved so much, whereas though we were still learning about the COVID at that time, when we were getting a lot of the COVID patients. And basically, we did not just say, oh, this is symptoms going to be this. No, what we did was we grabbed Dr. Google and the medical book. And guess what? We learned with our families. And as CNN, Dr. Akula, and everybody else was still talking, we used to let them listen to the podcast so they can get an understanding of what was going on. And we understand. And then when they don't understand the medical terminology, well, as nurses, we got you. But the COVID was new to everybody. But the symptoms that they were having was not. And basically, we treat them with the palliative care meds. And from that point on, we kind of cooled the symptoms down. Family was relieved, and then they smiled. And at the end of life, we were still there for them.
Beautiful. Well, it definitely has been a learning experience for everybody together. We've all learned the new words and grabbed hold to the new ways of doing things. And so have you learned some of the new ways that you feel should continue into your future practice with the care that you provide?
You know what it's called? Research, study, and then after that, don't think you know it all, because there's always something new coming out. And that's what you take from this.
Well, I think some doctors have said the same thing. I would agree, I'm sure. You are a valuable person, and the role that you play is so precious because of the really different levels that you reach and that you touch. And so now in your family, have you been able to I guess impress some family members about what you do, and they said, wow, they don't want to take that?
They still on plain Kenosha. But this is on the end of it, on the end part of it. It was like, oh, she got it. She know what to do already. I'm not worried about it.
So the confidence is there. They know
the confidence is there, but they're gonna look on the back end and say, oh, she got it, so I'm going by my business. So that's just where I'm at in my family.
Well, I love what you said earlier when you talked about it being a ministry. A lot of times I'm sharing and finding out that what people do is their passion. But another level is when it's a ministry. So what does it mean to you when you say that it's a ministry, and every word that you say, every act that you get to provide, what impact do you want to leave on a family once your services have been completed?
Once the services have completed, I want to let them know that I've done all I could. And I will cry with the family. I'm just not going to tell you no lie. I will cry, I will laugh, I will kid, I will clown, I will eat. With the family.
You're from New Orleans.
I'm from New Orleans. And what happens is, if you get on their level, and this is what I found out through my life of nursing, if you get on their level, not above, not beyond, but right there on their level, that means more than to come there and just take care of the family. So what I leave with the family is, you can call me at any time. It don't matter if you with my company or you're not at that point in time. You can always call me, and guess what? We're going to talk, we're going to laugh, we're going to clown. But you have a friend. And
Yes.
then that was really brings most of the patients back when they have new family members that want to come back. It's the care that they remember.
Yeah.
Now, if they don't remember your care, come on.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't put in a good impact at the most part.
Okay.
But if you give them something to remember what they always remember, and this is what I've seen throughout nursing, is the care.
Yes.
That's what counts.
Yes.
They may not remember your name because some of them can't pronounce mine. I get all kind of names, but at the same token, they know for a fact, oh, that's that lady that sit with me with the book. Because I have books in my car. Wait, hold on. I'm not just going to explain it to you, but I'm going to show you in black and white. And when you show them in black and white, guess what? It lights them up because they can go back and say, "Oh, I learned something."
Yeah,
and that's the teaching moment with hospice. That's what I think.
Yeah,
you know,
that's empowering as well to be able to teach somebody and leave them with something, and then that passes on to somebody else.
If you would, just to answer your question, that education is one, hospice experience is the other one, and friendship is the last. That I will leave with them.
I love it. I love it. Well, everyone, this is Kenosha, and if you can't say that, the lady with the books. And of course, we're learning about her journey and her experience as COVID-19 has entered everybody's life. And so what's special, though, is that she's a part of the Cannon Hospice family, and that's extra special care. And so, Kenosha, you mentioned earlier, I said you're from New Orleans, but earlier you said you're originally
from
Norco, Louisiana.
Norco is a small town in between.
So everybody really knows you there.
Oh, everybody knows everybody. Trust me. If they don't know you by name, they know you by nickname.
Yeah.
And that's what
personal.
a small communication
Absolutely.
is.
So are you looking forward to the vaccine as we continue talking about it? We see it's rolling out now and people are getting it. What is your thought process behind that?
I actually took the first vaccination. I'm waiting on the second one.
Okay.
So I'm pretty much excited about it. You have something to look forward to.
Yes.
How fast it rapidly came out was questionable for me at first, but once I started reading up on it, I took it and I took the advice of the medical directors.
Yes.
And basically, I have no symptoms so far.
Yeah.
So in 21 days, I'll be taking the second one.
Yes. Well, you're definitely on the front line, and so they made sure that the people providing the most up close and upfront care were definitely protected to continue to do what you're doing. And so that is great as an example really for people who do have those questions, who are concerned as they see the people that's in the medical profession taking it. Then that should be a vote of confidence.
I think it should.
Yeah, at least that they should be okay, because you'll still be there to provide the care that they need. So that's always good. So now as we wrap up, I know that there's so much that goes on, but now since you're the one with the books and you've learned so much, has that sparked an interest in you to continue your nursing education in any way?
On the administrative side, yes.
Okay.
The nursing field side, I guess, yeah, I can say, because I will be returning back to school in the spring.
That's great.
So yeah.
Yeah. Now, were you planning that before all of this came along?
Yes, I was.
You were? Okay.
Yes, I was.
So this just put a little spark behind it, huh?
Yeah, the science behind the note. So yeah, I want to figure out, because I got my own little synapses going on right now that I want to do a case study on COVID, honestly, because what I'm finding is with COVID, they have a lot of them that always catch pneumonia behind it. So I just wanted to see what it is, and then when you look at the news reports, they were saying all kind of blood types that may not get it, and that's the fascinating part to me. Yeah,
those that might be the carriers.
Yes, ma'am.
That never get any symptoms, and so you're
the science behind everything is what makes this fascinating.
Yeah,
and just to see the body heal by itself.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm a wound care. I like wounds, so basically, that's the science behind everything.
Well, how often do you hear people say they like wounds, right? So that's when you know she's in the right field. So,
Yeah.
well, how have you changed, do you think, since all of this experience has come so quickly and you're already in a field where things happen slowly but in still a rapid type of fashion because life is changing before you? How have you changed personally or grown, you think?
I have grown personally as far as being more cautious of what you touch, what you eat, what you smell. And I'm still overweight, but I have to lose weight because, now that is, they're saying that your obesity is starting to be a factor of everything. I got to slow it down a little bit. So that's my change as far as eating habits, eating a little bit healthier, drinking a lot of water, taking a lot of vitamins and stuff like that. Something that I wasn't doing in the beginning.
Okay.
So health is basically what I'm changing right now.
Yeah. And so do you feel different since you have started a little bit of that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I've actually started taking a little bit more vitamins every day and getting a lot of energy from it.
Okay.
At first, I said that was what was missing, I guess.
So now you really be on top of things.
Now eating habit, I'm still cheating myself, but
Well, I don't want to keep saying we're in New Orleans, but that's a big part of it.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Well, we all have that, I'm sure, on the list somewhere in our New Year's resolutions when it comes to trying to get off to a good start to the beginning of the year. So as this year rolls on and we're already kind of fast moving into it, what is your hope for not just yourself, but your patients, but really for the city? What's your hope that people would learn and gather and improve as we go through this together?
Well, to appreciate life to the fullest.
Yes.
And that's, if you don't get anything out of this here with the COVID situation, for a fact family is key and important, and to appreciate every day.
Wow, I love it. Now, is there a message that you would share with someone? You can look at that camera and let them know just more of what you said about family, but what message would you tell someone who has really struggled? Because I know you've probably you see sadness in the state and the condition that people are in when it deals with hospice, but what would you tell someone who may just really be struggling because of the entire COVID process, the whole depressing, process of maybe the struggles, losing loved ones, friends, things that they've gone through, and just having hope? We're into a presidential situation now, so there's so many things going on. What encouragement do you give someone to hang in there?
Well, the encouragement that I would give is to trust in the Lord every day. Pray. You're going to cry sometimes. You're going to laugh sometimes. That's part of life. But enjoy life to the fullest. That's what I can give. That's my advice. It's no time for depression, no time for sadness. When it comes down to family, embrace each other. And that's what's going to take you through anything. If you have a good support system, then you have it all.
I love it. That is well said, and really words to live by and words to remember, Kenosha, because if you live by it. And what is there one or two things that you do to relax, to help yourself stay centered, stay focused? Because I'm sure when things were moving fast, you had your moments like, wait a minute.
Oh, yeah.
What is going on?
You know what I have to do is, just to be honest with you, I watch TV.
Okay. Not CNN.
No, ma'am. I like series. I like all the TV lives on AME channel, and I get there and I regroup. Yes. Because sometimes when things get too stressful, you have to have a calm place. Yes. And once you regroup, you can come back and say, look, you give yourself a pep talk and you move on. Yeah. Because with life, you're going to have stresses. Right. If you don't have stresses, you're not living. Right. Okay?
There you go.
You're going to have stresses.
It's a mixture.
So the thing about it is you're going to have to regroup. And when you regroup, you okay. Yeah. It's the things about it when you're not regrouping and you let depression stay on, you have to get on your knees and you have to pray. Yeah. And when you pray to the Lord and you tell him and you give it to him and you leave it alone. And once you leave it alone and walk away from it, it's going to feel like a weight has lifted. And when that weight has lifted, guess what?
You're
Nobody
free.
can touch you with
Yeah,
nothing.
I love it.
And
And
that's my
how long
message.
have you been a nurse?
I've been nursing 22 years.
22 years. Wow. Well, you've seen some things and learned a lot, I'm sure. Yeah, it's fantastic. Well, I have to say thank you because I know you've taken some time out to share your story, your journey with us. And so, do you have any final words that you want to share as we leave?
Well, I thank you all for listening to my story, but I would love to hear someone else's story. So please email us at any time and we will get back with you.
All right. And how can someone get in touch with you?
ksampson@canonhospice.org. It's ksampson@canonhospice.org.
And that would be great as well for someone who's actually interested in learning the process of hospice and how you all operate and the whole journey of the beginning until their time of need is no longer. So that would be great for them to learn that from you as well. So that's good to know. And everyone, of course, we want to say thank you to Kenosha again.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, for being a wonderful part of the Canon Hospice family. And of course, thank you for taking the time to share in the Reminiscence series because her story will live on as we have learned about her journey. So we want you to continue to be encouraged and continue to watch and listen and subscribe so you can get the next broadcast and not miss another wonderful opportunity to meet someone. So until next time, you stay inspired, empowered, impactful, and stay motivated. And more than anything, stay focused. This is Singinlisa. Thanks again.
Thank you.